Oh man, coming up next, an interview with a rock star that I've been trying to track down for almost 10 years. I wanted to get the story of what I believe is the greatest Bottle of Lightning song, greatest one-hit wonder in the history of all of music. But I couldn't find him. I couldn't track him down. I'd heard rumors that he just disappeared and he couldn't be found. And then fate stepped in and I bumped into him at a concert. To celebrate 1 million subscribers, this is one of a few special episodes we're doing for you. He started out as a goat farmer, and then he developed a guitar effect on today's classic hit that no one in the world has ever been able to replicate, to repeat, even him, to a degree. Special interview is coming up next on Professor of Rock. Hey music junkies, Professor of Rock, always here to celebrate the greatest artists and the greatest songs of all time, especially today. You know, if you remember laughing at the sheer cheesiness of the 80s after-school special or serious teen commercials that never quite hit it, you're going to dig this channel of deep musical nostalgia. Make sure to subscribe below right now and make sure to hit the bell, check the bell so you always get our daily features, our interviews. Also, check out more of our content at Patron to help us keep it a daily channel. Oh, I am so elated to bring you a special edition of our series, Revelations, where featured artists go deep on their greatest songs and their greatest albums. Man, we've hit 1 million subs, and in celebration of that, thank you so much for your support. We're going to be featuring some very special episodes over the next month or so. It starts with this one. We really appreciate all the support through the years, so we're going to get the story of what I believe is the greatest Bottle of Lightning hit of them all. The greatest one-hit wonder in the history of recorded music, in my opinion. This episode is a hybrid of Revelations and Bottle of Lightning, if you haven't figured it out. Now, I told this story years ago, and it became our first video on this channel to hit 1 million views, but I always wanted to track down the artist who wrote and sang it, to get his perspective, to get his definitive perspective. So for 10 years, I've tried to track him down. I came up empty every single time. Then I was touring with Kenny Loggins doing a live story and song event in San Francisco. I hear a yell from the side of the stage after the show was over, and I walked right smack dab into Norman Greenbaum. So this interview has been a long time coming. I'm finally getting the story of Spirit in the Sky from the man who created this majesty. I couldn't be more excited. It's such a compelling story, and you get all new details from Norman here. Let's get into it. As we do, I want to thank our sponsor, Zenni Eyewear. Look, with summer around the corner, you're going to need some sunglasses, right? If you're in the market for those or another type of frame, whether prescription or reading glasses or anything in between, Zenni has you covered. Get up to 80% off regular retail prices, what you would normally pay for glasses. Just click on the info button right up here to get the PR rate. Here's Norman Greenbaum with the story. I don't know why, but I could never get a hold of you. And so
should have called the farm.
Yeah, right. So I finally just decided to do an episode on Spirit in the Sky. And that's what will be cool about this episode, is that we can get the real truth straight from the source, because there's a lot of rumors out there, which we'll talk about. But it was cool because I was doing this Kenny Loggins question and answer. It was kind of a storyteller's thing with him. And all of a sudden it was over and I heard a little holler from the stage and it was you.
Yeah.
And so we were all backstage, right?
I didn't know what he was going to do. I was in the first row, and there you came out, and I looked at you. I said, I know this guy, because I had seen the show that you did and loved it, and I was going to remember it forever. And there you were. So after the show that you were doing, I came up and went, hey.
Yeah, ran right into you.
Norman.
I thought this would be a perfect episode for the 1 million subscriber episode, the special episodes that we're going to do for this. So this is kicking it off.
I love the figure 1 million, because when my record sold 1 million, I hit the big time and got a gold record. So I hope we want gold records for your show.
Gold and platinum, baby. Yep, I agree.
Going up to the Spirit
you randomly came across a greeting card with the caption "Spirit in the Sky" over a picture of a Hopi Indian tribe sitting in front of a teepee. Tell me about that, because that's pretty cool.
I did. I went to a flea market and I was interested in postcards uh, at that time because you can find really interesting ones at flea markets. I never knew people collected them like I found out. It was Hollywood. Everything is there. But yeah, I go, boy, this is really interesting. Uh, the spirit in the sky. I go, okay, so
It had a picture on the front and everything,
it
right?
did, and it was the spirit sparkling up there, and I just had this great big picture of religion, their religion, and it was very interesting to me, and got me interested in it, and so I put it in the back of my head, and
Kind of logged it, yeah.
yeah, I would log things. So, I would think about it. Okay, there's this religion and that religion, but it's religion. People believed something. And so it stayed, I mean, it didn't get logged way back there and forgotten about.
Then, as I understand it, you were watching country star Porter Wagner. Tell me about that.
Oh, yeah. So, and the other thing that I had logged was the riff to Spirit in the Sky. I had that since my early days in Boston because they would bring some blues players in to play. And old Southern blues guys, not Robert Johnson, he was already passed,
Right.
but some others, and they had a riff that was something like that. And I go, boy, that's like a cool little riff. But I didn't know what to do with it. I changed it to the way I liked it a little different. But I never knew what to do with it. So that's logged on this side, the American Indians on that side.
Right.
And here's Porter Wagoner. And he had a show that happened to be broadcast in LA at that time. And I saw it a bunch of times. I go, oh, that's really cool. I like this guy. And halfway through it, I always do a religious song.
Wasn't he performing Pastor's Absent on Vacation? Wasn't that the song?
Yeah, that one got to me.
Absent on vacation.
And so anyway, he had a song about a gold miner who was out there in the hills, looking for gold with his mule. And he decided he wanted religion again one day. And he brought the mule, and they went to town to go to the preacher's place. And there was a sign on the door that said, "The preacher's on vacation." That just slayed me. I go, I gotta write a religious song. I don't know. Here's something. I gotta do it. And there it was, kind of strange, but kind of interesting and exciting, and it did come out exciting. Recording it was wonderful, just a wonderful thing. And when it was over, man, we were happy. To this day, I still think back because the weather changes, I just picture them looking up to the spirit in the sky going, what have you sent me? And things like that. I go, oh my God, what's happening? I don't know. But I didn't write any songs about the weather. I left that to the turtles. But
yeah, right. There you go. You first attempted to give the song a jug band feel. You tried a lot of different things for this song at first, right? Tell me about that.
Well, we did. Eric Jacobson was the producer of The Lovin' Spoonful. So when we first started to record, we were kind of going in that direction as an extension of the Lovin' Spoonful, but it wasn't working out. And so because of that, then all these other things came together. Luckily, even before that, I had a friend who built the fuzz tone for me. And once I had that, I knew that I had to use that for something that was going to be my signature. And then maybe we want to call that a fourth thing that came out. It wasn't in the back of my head, but I'm going to throw that in there too. And when we were, we would be getting together to, go through some ideas of what else we might do. And I says, I think I got it with this fuzz tone here. And I thought, oh my goodness. And so I came up with that, which it's it's hard to describe after having named that tune,
Right.
Sky, one note. But yeah, we got the gospel singers. We were keeping the gospel tone to it. We were recording in San Francisco, and they were from Oakland, and that turned out to be terrific. And then we just kept adding little parts to clapping. So we had a little real gospel. We had this crazy guitar riff. We had words that meant a lot and a great production. So there, it was terrific. And it came together in parts, not an odd thing to happen.
Yeah.
But each of these little parts were a great part, a repeat part of the process. Yeah.
That's where you're gonna go when you die.
You nixed the acoustic guitar completely in favor of a Fender Telecaster with the fuzz box. Tell me about that, because is it true that you've never been able to really truly replicate exactly how it sounded at that moment? Tell me about that.
Absolutely, and I'm still trying. we found somebody up by where you live, and he tried hard. It needed too many adjustments. Been very hard. They don't make parts anymore, and that's one of the difficult, a big problem in getting it again. But some of it, it's hard to say. I think I was chosen. This is not bragging, but there's just too many things. I don't know why me, but it happens that way. Who invents stuff and why? I think that we're chosen. I really do. And I thank the Spirit, my God, every day for my life and for being able to put that together and have it last this long with so many people enjoying it, even though it's a song about dying. I've met other, well-known guitar players over the years, who I look up to, and each one will say, geez, I just can't do it.
Yeah, you're right.
But as you said, it was positive in a lot of religious songs and gospel songs. They're positive, but not burn.
Yeah.
It just when it sent shivers up people. We listened back and got shivers, so that was a clue for us that we gotta get this out.
It says psychedelic revival, complete with a holy roller clap along melody and a scorching electric solo, played by session guitarist Russell DeShiel, right?
Yes. Well, it's interesting. What during the production, we used small microphones,
Yeah.
and we talked about the mix. And Eric said, "I'm mixing this for the car because that's where everyone's going to hear it. They got to go to work, and this song is going to be there every morning." And people are just going to want to hear it every morning because it got people going, and it did send that shiver, and it was positive, and it was heartfelt.
What do you remember about setting up the fuzz box? Because I understand another factor in creating that distinctive fuzzy tone was the way that you finger picked the Telecaster instead of using a guitar pick. Take us back to how do you remember how you put that together to the best of your knowledge that when you were there?
Well, back in those days, finger picking was prominent with folk type singers, and I knew how to do it a little bit, and I didn't think about it much. I just did it. Uh, of course, I experimented on how I wanted to elongate the sound, so I didn't want it to sound like an old blues, too close to an old blues song, and said I copied something. So I go, well, if I do this and this and that, I got my own sound, and that's that. So I just did. It was a Telecaster. It was um, a Fender, a small Fender amp, and that was it. And we didn't use the best microphones and baffles, and it wasn't a famous studio at all. It was called Coast Recorders. They're not there anymore, but it was uh, wasn't my first time in the studio, but it was my best time in the studio.
This is, I think, where the rumor came from that you're a goat farmer, because around this time is when yeah, your wife at the time had said, when you got a royalty from it, it'd be cool to raise some goats, but you really were more not in the scene. I mean, you were at this time, you were in Petaluma,
Right.
had a goat farm, even if you didn't run it, you were, that's an interesting thing. I think that's why people pick up on it.
Yeah. Back then, oh yeah, my third album was called Petaluma, and I had gone back to an acoustic album, and there I was on the cover holding a chicken, wearing overalls, and uh, so people go, oh yeah, I mean that's the goat farmer. But it's a good story, you
It
know.
is. People have this perception of who you are, but it wasn't all that far off because you are of the earth. You're not the rock star, sex, drugs, and rock and roll kind of guy,
I wasn't actually, never was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was from a whole different crowd, even in Hollywood. And when I moved north, I mean, when I moved to Northern California, I kind of got into it more healthful foods and more organic, and wanting to not live in the city, wanting to have some, acreage and do all that stuff. And we both of us and loved animals, so we started collecting them, and
Yeah.
in between, I was there, but there was a time when, after Spirit in the Sky, when I wasn't with Warner Brothers anymore, and I made a bunch of demos, and we were shopping, excuse me, that we were shopping them, and they had told my new manager at the time. They go, well, we like him a lot, and that song was great, and we like this new stuff, but we hear that he won't leave the farm. He's he won't leave the farm, and he's a goat farmer. And at that time, I'd moved back to L.A. a little bit, and he goes, he lives 6 blocks from here. For years. And so, I mean, that was devastating, and it kind of threw my career down the toilet, as they say.
So this is about the time, though, you're working in this restaurant, and this is when Doctor and the Medics made it a hit all over again, right? Smashing success, returning the song to #1 in the UK and Ireland. And that's the only time that I can think of that it was a hit twice for a band that didn't have a hit after that again. And enthralled the whole new generation, though, because people wanted to hear the original, right? It reignited the song's energy with people, and that wild success, it spawned new interest in you. And so I understand that you had like reporters calling the restaurant trying to find out about you, and eventually the manager like fired you over it or something. Tell me about that.
Yeah. Well, he says, this got to stop. You're working here. And I go, oh, well, maybe I don't want to do that anymore.
It's been licensed, and I think at the last count, like 50 films. The Longest Yard, Wayne's World 2, Apollo 13, Remember the Titans, Ocean's 11, just to name a few. Jack Reacher. Used to promote the Guardians of the Galaxy movie when that came out. That was huge.
Oh, that was big time. That was very interesting. It was, as you probably know, the first soundtrack that ever made #1 first week.
That's right.
Yeah. It got me on the ride ahead of everybody in line at Disneyland.
Yeah, there you go.
Which I regret, because it was the one like the elevator that came straight down.
Yeah, I remember.
Well, they give it different names over the years. Don't ever do it again.
But I think one of the coolest things that I've ever read about Spirit in the Sky is that John Lennon was a fan, and that's pretty cool.
I understand that. Yeah.
Yeah, he mentioned that in an interview that was one of his favorite songs at the time. And, personally, it was a song that my dad has been, he passed about 5 years ago, but this was a song when I was a kid that he would turn up all the way up and sing along and try to offer me the imaginary microphone. And it was just a memory that we have that connected me to the song. And that's always why it became one of my favorites. So, it's also the only song that's hit #1 in the UK 3 times by 3 different acts.
Right, there was a third time.
Yes. Yeah, Gareth Gates and the Kumars.
Wembley, you idiot! He means heaven.
I thought we got reincarnated.
I'm forever grateful. What a wonderful thing for me to look back and go, if I was anybody else and I had a bunch of hits, well, it was a hit, but it's just a different type of hit.
Looking back, your career, your personal life, everything together, what are you most grateful for?
I would say acceptance at a high level. If I just make a surprise appearance, like I did on the last rock and roll cruise. Nobody knew I was going to be there, and it was a setup. And I came out, and people recognized me.
Yeah,
and
so cool.
Oh my God, it's Norman Greenbaum. Everybody get their phone out. Again, it's the chill.
Yeah.
It's the acceptance. It's the gratitude, and just to see the smiles. I mean, it's not like you just hear a rock and roll song, you're into it, but just love. There's love, and it's very touching, and I'm very grateful for that moment.
Oh, man, isn't that cool? Make sure to leave us a comment about this amazing song. Is it the greatest Bottle of Lightning classic ever? The greatest one-hit wonder ever? I think for sure. I think Norman deserves entrance into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame just for this song. It will live forever, for sure. What's your take? What are your memories of this classic song? Stay tuned for more special episodes to celebrate 1 million subs. We've got some really cool stuff coming, believe me. Let us know in the comments what you might like to see. I might do my own top 10 of all time on different things. Let me know if you'd like to see that. Until next time. Remember to subscribe so we can keep going. But thank you so much for watching. Until next time, 3 chords and the truth, my friends.